Giannis is currently the best player in the NBA, and that has been further cemented after he won his first NBA championship with a stellar performance in the NBA Finals against the Phoenix Suns. Giannis almost single-handedly carried his team to their first NBA title in 50 years. He gave a performance reminiscent of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's masterful performance in the 1971 NBA Finals. On a night when no other Bucks player scored more than 17 points, Giannis scored 50. The same number of points Bob Pettit scored in the 1958 Finals. His 17 free throws were a new playoff career high. Whether you believe it or not, Giannis had one of the greatest NBA Finals performances in the league's history. It's been 50 years since the Bucks were NBA champs, and coincidentally, it took 50 points for Giannis to return the NBA championship to Milwaukee. Despite all these incredible numbers, Giannis doesn't get the same respect other players in the NBA get. And we're not just talking about James Harden. After Giannis won his first ring, many NBA players like LeBron, Curry came out to congratulate him, and that's because the Greek Freak left them with no choice, especially after dropping those numbers he dropped at the finals. It's a bit funny because most NBA fans and the American community at large love Giannis, yet the NBA players don't seem to be able to stand him. Giannis is literally making a strong claim to become the new face of the NBA, and you could argue that it was the same way with Kobe. But we all know that many people and players later came to adore and respect the Black Mamba. But the chances of the same thing happening with Giannis is not exactly clear. Harden is perhaps the only player with the guts to come out at Giannis on live television. And that's totally understandable because Giannis won more All-Star votes than him, and won an MVP award over him, which Harden thought was undeserved, because he felt he should have won that award ahead of Giannis. But that same disrespect is there with other NBA players. It's a little subtle, but if you look closely enough, you can see it. If you take a look at this video where Harden talks about Giannis, you'd understand just how Harden doesn't respect Giannis in any way. Or maybe the beef is also because Giannis threw a ball at him. I wish I could be 7 feet, run and just dunk. That takes no skill at all. I gotta actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill. I'll take that any day. Although Harden didn't specifically mention a name, we all know who he was referring to. And that's pretty cold. But the thing is, it's not just Harden that thinks of Giannis this way. Many other NBA players feel the same way about the Greek Freak. So why is it that NBA stars don't give Giannis the same kind of respect that they give to other NBA stars? The first reason is probably because many NBA players think that Giannis' game doesn't entirely possess any real skill. While this is arguable, let's first look at it from the perspective of these players. You see, Giannis is the modern-day Shaq, and even though I don't exactly remember many players criticizing Shaq for not having any real skill, nobody can question Shaq's greatness. Yet this is the dilemma that Giannis has found himself in. Even though we can argue that Shaq's game and Giannis' game are very similar, the way Giannis approaches the game is quite different. Giannis moves with the ball in his hands outside of the paint far more than Shaq did, but statistically, his impact is looking very much the same as Shaq's. Most of Giannis' points come from in and around the rim, and for many NBA players, they see this as having no style and being boring. At the end of the day, we have to agree with ourselves that 2 points is 2 points, irrespective of how you get them. Whether you do a step back, fadeaway, or spin before you hit the basket, the points don't change, and so Giannis gets the job done, irrespective of what many of these players think. Because at the end of the day, every team wants a player who can get the job done, and that's exactly what Giannis does. Let's even drop the fadeaway and all that aside. It's a bit illogical to say that Giannis has no skill at all. I mean, we're talking about a 2-time MVP winner, an NBA champion, and an NBA Finals MVP. You can't win all those things and score 40 points successively in the NBA Finals, and then drop 50 points in Game 6 of the NBA Finals without having some sort of skill. Apart from his offensive duties, Giannis also won the NBA Defensive Player of the Year during the 2019-20 season, an award he won in a landslide. And a great example of just how good he is defensively came in Game 4 of the NBA Finals when he made an incredible block. Of course, being a good defender is not exactly as flashy as throwing a 3-point from half court or making some incredible stepovers before shooting. But being a good defender takes some skill, and defensively, Giannis is capable of doing everything. Another reason why NBA players might not respect Giannis a lot is because he's Greek. Think about it. Most NBA superstars are Americans, and most of them grew up knowing one another either because they played together or against each other at AAU. Chris Paul and LeBron James have known each other since high school because their high school teams played against each other. Carmelo and LeBron have also been friends for 20 years, and there are many more examples of friendships like that in the NBA. But that's not the case with the Greek Freak because nobody knew Giannis until he was drafted, and none of them associated themselves with him. Giannis came from the Greek B League, the second division in Greece. They can't accept how a player like Giannis would come from nowhere without much talent and start dominating the league. That sort of thing would of course create some sort of animosity or resentment between the players and Giannis. To them, he's a little like an outsider. and there's nothing as bad as a person coming from outside the street to come to dominate in your hood. These players may not exactly say it out loud, but that's definitely how they feel about it. Another reason might be this: Giannis doesn't like the buddy-buddy relationship other NBA players have with each other. You won't see Giannis training with his NBA foes during the offseason, or going to work out with them. I can't work out with you in the summer and then play with you in a few months. It feels weird. It doesn't feel right with me. It's cool for other players, but I don't want to. I feel like with LeBron and KD did that to LeBron. Take a lot of his thoughts and use it against him, and that's what I don't want guys doing to me. I think it's just being competitive. If I know that I'm going to play against them and I'm going to see them in the playoffs or I'm going to see them in many more years to come, I try to stay away and not build that relationship because I know that when I get on the court, I'm going to go 100%. And maybe if you build a relationship with somebody or I'm close with somebody, he probably expects me to go 50% or take it easy on him. But I don't want things holding me back when I go out there and play. Many players would hear that and think that Giannis is old school. Some players would also feel that he's calling them out and calling them soft. But that's not the only time that Giannis has said something that hurt the feelings of other NBA stars. After winning the championship with the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis had this to say during an interview: "It's easy to go somewhere and go win a championship with somebody else. It's easy. I could go to a super team and just do my part and win a championship. But this is the hard way to do it, and this is the way to do it, and we did it. Effing did it. We did it, man." That sounds like a hardened jab to me, but think about what was going through LeBron's mind, KD's, or even Harden's mind when they heard that. If any of them didn't like Giannis before, they probably won't like him now. And you can't blame Giannis because he's not wrong and he should be proud of himself. He's earned the right to talk like that. Still, Giannis should be careful talking like that because we all know that stories like that about loyalty and getting rewarded don't always end up like his. You can ask Damian Lillard, who has been a loyal wife to the Trailblazers and the city of Portland, and yet they've refused to build a title-challenging team around him. So you can't blame some players when they decide to chase their dreams, even if they have to do it in an ugly way. By winning the NBA championship, especially in the style and manner in which he did it, Giannis has officially cemented his name among NBA greats. And by winning an NBA Finals MVP, as well as the Defensive Player Award, his resume is pretty much complete. However, has Giannis become the new face of the NBA? Well, Giannis doesn't seem to care. Speaking about it, he said, "I don't care about being the face of the NBA. Kevin Durant or James Harden can be. I want to be with my kids and my family. I want to win and enjoy the game. I want to be Giannis, the hard worker." The fact that Giannis doesn't care about personal accolades or being the face of the NBA, and especially how he acts humble around the media, makes the other players cringe. And the fact that he called Harden out again is salt on a sore wound in Harden's case, who would have heard that comment and hated Giannis even more. When Giannis came into the league, we didn't see that love and respect the veterans throw on young players being thrown to Giannis. We've seen the way D-Wade praised LaMelo Ball when he came into the league. We've seen Kevin Love calling Booker special, and LeBron James supporting some other players. But that was pretty much not the case with Giannis when he was just coming into the league. When players recognize young players and shower praises on them, they are welcoming them, trying to make them feel at home and telling them they belong in the NBA and they accept them. Giannis didn't get this kind of attention, and that's why we get the sense that they don't respect Giannis much. Whether they respect him or not, it doesn't matter because after winning his first ring, nobody can question his greatness. Besides, all that talk of him not having any real skill is irrational. Giannis's mentality is a skill on its own, coupled with how hard he works to achieve all that he has. Comment below to let us know your thoughts and be sure to subscribe for more. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another one of our videos. We'll see you next time, latest Hoops fans. Until then, keep shooting your shot.